thank everyone for all the lovely comments worrying about mine and Alf's safety. We're okay for now. Regarding guns, we live in Scotland, so no guns here, unfortunately. So last night was pretty wild. I heard the scratching as I was riding, posted it quickly without thinking, and immediately started panicking. Alfie could sense something was up too. Poor little guy was standing behind me whining, but still giving out defensive barks toward the back door. I questioned what to do for a solid minute or so. Should I really confront him? Fuck it. Live by the sword, die by the sword. Get the fuck out of here, you bastard! I shouted through the door at him. I heard nothing but silence. Through the pane glass window of the door, though, I could see his figure rise slowly. I'm guessing he had still been on all fours, but now, standing on two legs. I could see the true size of this man. He was probably about the same height as the door, maybe 6'6", and his wide frame was noticeable even through the silhouette. Fuck. All that fucking bravado out the window now. He lifted his arm back. I thought he was about to try and smash through the door with punches, but he tapped. Tapped so gently on the glass pane that it was barely audible. Other than that, it was silent. The slight buzz of the television and the living room clock ticking were the only sounds present. Until he broke that silence. But mister, please let me in, he said in a voice imitating a little girl. It was clearly a grown man's voice, but he had raised his pitch and even put on this slight childish lisp to give the impression he was a child, which he clearly wasn't. I want to go and swim, mister. Get the fuck away. You're not fucking right in the head. Gonna give you to the count of 5, and if you're not gone, there's gonna be fucking trouble, you understand? Silence once again. 1, 2, 3. I heard footsteps walking away down the back steps again. Thank fuck. He's going. That relief was short-lived. That hole in my stomach opened again when I heard him going around the side of the house. And this time, he was running. I instantly panicked. Shit! Had I locked the fucking front door? I sprinted down the corridor to the front, Alfie at my heels, and turned the key as soon as I got to the door. Not even a second after the door bolted locked, the handle started jiggling. He was trying to open it. He tried 5 or 6 times, and when he realized it was locked, I heard this tiny giggling, as if he was just doing it to himself. This game was genuinely funny to him. I waited a few minutes before going to the window by the front door. It was, of course, the same man. He just stood there, staring at the door, trying to will it open with his eyes or something. That was when he turned, eerily slow, and looked straight at me through the window. Even though it was dark, I could still make out the crazed look in his eyes. I could see a lot of people theorizing Kelpies or some other Celtic myth creature, but no chance. This was the crazed look of a man. A man who had lost touch with everything. Lost touch with any shred of sanity he had. He then spoke one last line in his childish imitation voice. One last line that stayed with me. I'm going to go and swim with Eileen now. What? What the fuck? How did he know Eileen? How did he know her name? How did he know? What happened? I was frozen in fear, in anger, in shock. By the time I looked back at the front door, he'd gone. He was calmly walking away, the same way he'd done into the forest that night a few months back. He was walking away, this time to the lock. He walked and walked and walked before walking straight into the dark water. I know it's summer, but it's Scotland. That water is still freezing, especially at 3 a.m. He swam around the corner, a sort of breaststroke, and I didn't see him again. I sat there, me and Alf, shaken to my core once again. What the actual fuck? That last comment. Who was this fucking man? I took myself to bed in a zombie-like state and woke up this morning in a daze. Surprised I even got some sleep last night. Who was this man? Why had he been trying to get into my fucking house? What did he want? How the fuck did he know my poor late Eileen? So many questions. So there I was this morning, lying in my bed with Alf, reading through Reddit. About to start this update, actually, when I fancied some coffee to start the day. I went downstairs to the kitchen, and you can imagine my horror when the kitchen floor was covered in water. Water that was clearly from the lock outside.